What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It's Masked FC time. And yes, we're going for the classic over 1.5 goals vibes today. Before we jump in, if you want the picks, the live countdowns, and the chaos in real time, join the Discord. It's where the real party is. Link is at the very top of the description. Quick disclaimer, this is for entertainment, bet responsibly, and never stake money you can't laugh about losing. All right, let's cook. Today we've got 7 matches across England, France, Germany, Turkey, Italy, and Ireland. The theme is simple. We're not asking for a goal fest. We're just asking for 2 goals. 2. A normal football scoreline, like 1-1, 2-0, 2-1, even 90 minutes of pain, and then 2 late goals, like football loves to do when you're already stressed. Let's go game by game. Pick 1. England Premier League, Wolves versus Aston Villa. All right, first up, Friday night under the lights at Molyneux. This one has derby energy. The kind where tackles fly in, the crowd is loud, and somebody's shin pads are definitely going to be tested for durability. Wolves are down there fighting for their lives, and Villa are fighting for the fancy stuff. European places, Champions League dreams, all that. Different goals, same motivation, do not lose. The vibe here is simple. Wolves at home usually bring that we're not going quietly energy. Villa, even when they're not perfect, still have quality going forward. The type of quality that can create one chance and it's suddenly 0-1. And there's a spicy little storyline. Emery's record at Wolves hasn't been kind to him. He's talked about it himself, so you know he wants to break that curse. That usually means Villa won't show up to politely pass the ball around and leave with a 0 and a thank you note. Also, team news-wise, Wolves have a suspension to deal with, and Villa have some midfield absences. That can actually help goals, because when the midfield isn't full strength, transitions get messy, and messy transitions are where random goals are born. So we're not picking a winner here, we're picking vibes. Derby vibes plus quality up top equals, give me 2 goals, over 1.5 goals. Pick 2, France, League 1, Strasbourg versus Lens, bet. Over 1.5 goals, odds around 1.222. Next, Strasbourg versus Lens in League 1. This one is sneaky. Lens have been living near the top end of the table, and Strasbourg have been hanging around the European conversation too. That means the match vibe is serious football, not friendly kickabout. Lens tend to come with structure, but they also have players who can actually finish. Strasbourg at home usually don't play like cowards either. And when the home side shows some bravery, you get chances at both ends. This feels like one of those games where the first goal unlocks the rest. If Lens score first, Strasbourg have to open up. If Strasbourg score first, Lens have to respond. Either way, the match doesn't really scream 0-0. Also, the attacker lists on both sides have names that have been contributing this season. So we're not relying on a center back scoring from a corner while everybody falls over. We're not asking for 4 goals, we're asking for 2. Strasbourg Lens, just give us a 1-1 and we all go home happy. Over 1.5 goals. Pick 3, Germany, 2, Bundesliga, Dynamo Dresden versus Darmstadt, bet, over 1.5 goals, odds around 1.25. Now we go to Germany, and I love this one for motivation clash. Dresden are down near the danger zone, Darmstadt are up near the top. That combination usually produces a very specific kind of match. The strong team tries to control and score. The desperate team tries to scrap and survive. And somewhere in the middle, a goal happens, and then another goal happens because somebody has to chase. Darmstadt, being up there, don't travel to play for 0-0. They'll want points. Dresden, being down there, can't just sit in a shell for 90 minutes because eventually you concede anyway, and then you're forced to attack. So the vibe is pressure. And when pressure is in the room, mistakes start happening. Bad clearances, loose passes, weird rebounds. A goalkeeper punching air like he's trying to swat a fly. Also, both sides have players putting up goals this season. So again, we're not begging the football gods for a miracle. This is the kind of match that can be 1-1, 2-0, 2-1. Just 2 goals, that's all we need. Over 1.5 goals. Pick 4, Turkey, Super League. Trabzonspor versus Fatih Karagumruk, bet over 1.5 goals, odds around 1.25. All right, Turkey time. And if you watch this league, you already know, vibes are never calm. Trabzonspor at home is not a peaceful experience for visiting teams. The crowd is loud, the tempo is high, and the emotions are set to maximum volume. In the table, Trabzonspor are up near the top, Karagumruk are down near the bottom. That usually means Trabzonspor are expected to do the heavy lifting. But the bottom teams often show up with that "we have nothing to lose" chaos. And chaos is great for goals. Trabzonspor also have proven scorers this season. If they get one early, Karagumruk have to chase. If Karagumruk nicks something, Trabzonspor will throw the kitchen sink at them. Either scenario is good for our over 1.5. This is not the match where everyone politely agrees to a chess game. This is the match where someone gets scored on and immediately starts playing like it's the 90th minute. Give me 2 goals. Over 1.5. Pick 5. Italy, Serie B, Monza versus Virtus Entella. Bet. Over 1.5 goals. Odds around 1.35. Next up, Serie B, Monza versus Virtus Entella. Now, Serie B can be, how do I say this politely, a bit of a one-goal thriller league sometimes. But this matchup has a nice angle. Monza are up near the top end, Entella are down near the bottom. That usually means one team wants promotion, the other wants survival. And both of those desires tend to produce goals because somebody eventually takes risks. Also, these two played earlier this season and it was tight. That's actually why I like the over 1.5 here, instead of chasing some big line. It's a respect the matchup pick. The vibe is, Monza should control more of the game. Entella will probably try to stay compact. But if Monza score first, Entella can't just sit there forever, and that opens the door for goal number 2. This could be 2-0, it could be 2-1, it could be 1-1. I'm not being greedy, I'm being realistic. Over 1.5 goals. Pick 6. Republic of Ireland, First Division, Cork City versus Bray Wanderers. Bet over 1.5 goals, odds around 130. Now we go to Ireland, and I love these because the energy is honest. No Hollywood drama, just we're here to play football and also maybe ruin your weekend. Cork City are sitting top early on. Bray are right up there too. That's a serious points game. When teams around the top play each other, you often get 2 different approaches. One team tries to dominate, the other tries to hit transitions. Either way, chances happen. Also, early season matches can be a little wild defensively. Players are still finding rhythm, teams are still settling, and when defending isn't perfectly synced, goals become more likely. I'm not saying it'll be a 5-goal madness, I'm just saying 2 goals feels very achievable in a first versus third type matchup. Over 1.5 goals. Pick 7. Republic of Ireland, First Division, Cobh Ramblers versus Finn Harps. Bet over 1.5 goals, odds around 1.23. Last one, Cobh Ramblers versus Finn Harps. This one has a fun historical vibe. These fixtures have had a habit of producing goals, especially when Cobh are at home. It's one of those matchups where for whatever reason the game just opens up. In the table, they're mid-pack, which can actually help our pick, because mid-table often means both teams still believe they can push up the standings. So they play to win, rather than to not lose. And in these leagues, once a goal goes in, the game can turn into a track meet very quickly. Somebody scores, somebody panics, somebody sends a long ball into the universe, and suddenly it's a big chance. We're not asking for perfection. We're asking for 2 moments, 2 goals. If you want the countdown timers, live updates, and the chat while the games are on, join the Discord, link at the top of the description. And if you're betting, keep it sensible. Small stakes, long game, no chasing, no "I'm gonna win it back" nonsense. We're here for the football and the vibes. All right, that's it from me. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's cash smart.